Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I got another thing about a whole horror franchise, my thoughts, reviews, and opinions of them. And I'm doing the Halloween movies today because I know that one guy, Movie M at, and I finally figured out it was Movie Matt. It sometimes, I just read it. I don't really put the two things together. It's Movie Matt. And then Tony was asking me about the Halloween movies also. So I thought I'd do like my whole recollections of the Halloween series. And this even goes farther back to Friday the 13th because Halloween came out in 78, or Friday the 13th. God, Friday the 13th came out in 1980, right? Well, anyways, I knew that there was a Halloween movie that came out. I didn't get a, I saw the first ones on VHS, but I didn't get VHS till much later, till I was in like high school, my freshman or junior year in high school. And I know that the original Halloween came out. I know that there was a second, third one. That's all I knew. I wanted to see them. And all I saw were little clips that they showed on Cisco and Ebert back when I was growing up. And, that's the only way I could see them. And then I remember I saw that on, I used to get like this TV guide thing, and they said that they were going to have the world broadcast premiere of the original Halloween on NBC at Friday, 8 o'clock. I remember I was in 7th grade. I told Miss Wilkinson, did you hear they're going to have Halloween on Friday night? And she said, you don't watch that. It's a rotten movie. It's a rotten movie. Like that. And then I remember about a week later we had open house. And my dad went to it, and my dad came home yelling and screaming at me. And then he said that the teacher was saying that I was always talking about horror films and stuff like that. I mentioned that once. That's one of the things that pisses me off of her. I never had any respect for her after that. I almost got hit because of it too, and I know I wasn't allowed to see it. Well, anyways, I can't remember the exact time, but I remember there was a guy named, I don't want to mention his name, but he was like a real nerdy guy, but kind of a jerk and stuck up and kind of weird. And he had the book for Halloween 2. I said, man, when you're done with that, could I read that? And he said, well, I don't think I can lend it to you, but I can let you rent it. For 2 weeks, it'll be a quarter. I said, okay, I wanted to read it. So I said, oh, the hell, a quarter. I told some other kid, and they said, I wouldn't have done that. That's stupid, renting a book for a quarter. And, I had the quarter. No, and I really enjoyed the book. I remember Maureen McLeod wanted to borrow it. When I was done, I asked the guy, and he said no, and I had to tell him no, and she was all upset. I said, I don't have anything to do with that. That's him. Because he's that way, But this was back in, 7th or 8th grade or something like that. And I remember when we got our VCR, like, there was a whole bunch of movies I wasn't allowed to rent, including Halloween. But if I wanted to see Halloween movies, I wanted to see them in order. And I remember my neighbor, Danny Swift, had... they rented Halloween 2, and I said, well, I went over there and I watched it, and I really enjoyed that, because I did see them out of order. I saw Halloween 2, and that's where, at the end, they introduced that Mr. Sandman song. And I loved Halloween 2. Halloween 2 gets a full-on 10 out of 10, and that's my favorite of the series. I loved the dialogue, and it had one of the best jump scares right towards the beginning when he was in that one old lady's house. And it had one of my favorite lines in the movie. There goes air conditioning, because I was cooking. I'm doing outdoor videos because I was cooking, and air conditioning cooking. It's pretty warm in there right now. But what the hell was I going to say? Oh, they had one of the best lines in that movie where they had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and that guy saw Dr. Loomis. They said, what the hell is going on? I've been tricked or treated to death tonight. And he looks at him and goes, you don't know what death is. My favorite line, they played the theme music. My favorite line from any of the Halloween movies. And then a little while later, I eventually saw Halloween, the original John Carpenter one, and I loved it too. And I was surprised it wasn't gory at all. And I was like, my dad was bamboozled by this. One old lady at the library said all these movies are gory, and that wasn't gory at all. And the original Friday the 13th wasn't gory. Halloween 2 had a little bit, but it wasn't very gory either, And I really enjoyed that one. That's a full-on 10 out of 10. It's really close to being my favorite, but I still think Halloween 2 is my absolute favorite. The original 1981 version, not the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, and I'll get to that at the end. And but Halloween 2 from 1981 is my favorite, with the original Halloween being really, really close Now, on came Halloween 3, Season of Witch, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Michael Myers series. And I never saw this movie until much, much later when I was in Germany. Either in 88 or 89, I remember I bought the VHS. I think all the VHS were like around 16 bucks. That's when they were still kind of expensive. And they had some bargain ones too. And I saw it with my roommate. We both loved it. I know a lot of people don't like Halloween 3, but I thought it was quite good for what it was. It was just a different idea of like this guy taking over, and he had like these Halloween masks with these chips in it, and I thought it was cool. I dug it. But I mean, I give that a 9 out of 10. It's still pretty good. And then so that was pretty much it for the Halloween series, because the original Halloween was an independent film released through Compass International, and that was such a big hit. Universal took on Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, giving that slightly bigger budget and major studio behind it. But that was pretty much all for the Halloween series for a long time. And then I guess one of the guys who had the rights for it, Mustafa Akkad, brought it back for 1988 with Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. I saw it at the movie theater. I mean, technically, a lot of stuff, it contradicts a lot of stuff that happened at the end of Halloween too. But I mean, that was a very entertaining film. I really enjoyed it. Does it still hold up today? Somewhat, but I mean, it's not perfect. But I still enjoyed the movie. I'm looking at a wasp right there. As long as they don't come towards me, I'll be alright. I give that a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed that. I know a lot of this. I saw that in the military movie theater. I know a lot of soldiers are booing at the end with that. I don't want to give anything away. And then 1989 came along. And 1989 was the worst year for the slasher franchises, except for Nightmare on Elm Street, which was still red hot at the time. They screwed up Halloween. They screwed up Friday the 13th with Jace Goes to Manhattan, or Jace Takes Manhattan. And they screwed up the Texas Chainsaw with that Leatherface Texas Chainsaw 3. And Halloween 5, Curse of Michael Myers, I didn't see it at the theaters, but I know it came out real quick after the fourth one did. And I thought it sucked. I hated it. My roommate hated it. It had one or two good kills in it, but I mean, for the most part, it was lousy. I really, really hated Halloween 5. I thought the ending was really stupid. I give that a very low. I hate it so much. He shed a tear. I hate that movie so much. I give that 1.5 out of 10. That might be the one I hated the most in the series. I might even hate that more than the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Well, anyways, that pretty much killed the franchise for a long time. And then in '95, they brought back, I believe it was '95, they brought back, what was it, Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. And they showed like a thing with the druids and stuff. Some of that still didn't make sense, but I did enjoy the movie. I thought he was a much meaner Michael Myers, and it had some scary qualities, and he was still kind of like a dreamlike shape, like ghost type thing. I thought that was cool. I did enjoy the movie. I had a chance to see it at the Village Cinema, but I didn't see it at the theater. I saw it on pay-per-view, and we got some free pay-per-view stuff, and I enjoyed the movie. And I saw it again on Netflix a year and a half ago, and it's still pretty good. I mean, I wish I knew. I think there's an uncut version that explains the druid stuff a little bit more. But I did like the movie. I give that about a 7.5 out of 10. If it was a little more clear about the druid stuff, I probably would have liked it more. But I still enjoyed the movie. And then I remember they had a big resurgence in 1998 for H2O. 20 years later, which was like Halloween 8. And now had Jamie Lee Curtis come back. Oh, there's Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Maggie's looking out the window. Hi, honey. I'll be back out, Maggie. She is so cute. Give me a shot. I'm going to show you Maggie. Show you Maggie. Look at Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Say hi. Isn't she cute? Okay. Like I was saying, I remember Jamie Lee Curtis on Tonight Show. And she was talking about the movies after Halloween 2, and she said they weren't scary movies and stuff. And she wanted to make it scary. And I saw Halloween H2O at the theaters, and I loved it. I actually bought the VHS because that's before DVD still. And it's still a very watchable movie, very fast-paced, and very entertaining. I really enjoyed Halloween H2O. That's almost a 9.5. Well, that's a 4 on 10 out of 10 because there was some scary moments in it. Very watchable and very good movie. And she was like saying like the sequels weren't very good. And then she did Halloween Resurrection, which would be... What the Let me think. Or maybe Halloween 8 or something. Well, it was Halloween Resurrection. I remember I got the DVD for that, and she was in it for a little bit, and she was the part where she was fighting Michael Myers, and he killed her, and she actually kissed him on lips. I was like, I'm going to hang upside down. I'm sure Michael Myers said, "What the fuck? What's up with you, bitch? You crazy?" I think she really set Michael Myers back in that one moment. That was good. Michael Myers like, what the hell? I know he was pretty stunned in that part. I mean, but for the movie, I think they humanized him too much. And the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. And after that, I saw it 2 or 3 other times. And Leonard Maltin said that it started out real good and it turned into like a amusement park ride at Tiny Toons Town or something like that, something crazy like that. It just goes really crazy with the reality show premise and stuff. But it humanized him too much. And one part when he gets beat up by Busta Rhymes, yeah, I don't know. I didn't care about that much. I did enjoy it the first time I saw it. And there's a part where he gets out of the car and you hear him like do that thing with that locks the car. Yeah, beep beep. And I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or not. And it should have been funny. Yeah, the first time I saw it, I enjoyed it, but after that, I was kind of disappointed with it. I give that a very mild 7 out of 10. And then that was pretty much it for Halloween. I think they kind of buried it after that. And then Rob Zombie came back and he said he said Halloween's not scary anymore. He wanted to make it scary again. So he did the original Halloween. I mean, he remade Halloween, and what he did was he really drew out the story. Like the relationship between Michael Myers and psychiatrist, played awesomely by Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell is great in both movies, and in both his Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. And I think some people said that he built up the story so much between that it didn't have that much time to really go to a satisfactory conclusion. But I did enjoy Halloween, Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. I mean, it was not scary at all. I think Rob Zombie lied when he said he was going to make it scary. I'd probably give that an 8 out of 10 for Rob Zombie's Halloween. And then he went and did Halloween 2, which I never saw until much, much later. And then I know a bunch of people said it like he took the Halloween franchise and shit all over it. And he said on Conan O'Brien, when he was promoting Devil's Rejects, he was saying, I don't do sequels because sequels suck. And he did Halloween 2. And Halloween 2 wasn't very good. I didn't care for it at all. But I still liked it a little bit better than Halloween 5. Halloween 5 really sucked. As far as Halloween 2, I wasn't a fan. I'd probably give that a 4 out of 10. Well, 3.5 out of 10. It completely ruined the whole series. I think it's completely dead now. I don't know what they're going to do with the series now, because when they do these remakes, they really bury a good series, They shouldn't have remade Friday the 13th. They shouldn't have remade Nightmare on Elm Street, especially. That was the worst. I mean, the Rob Zombie movie was much better than the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And they shouldn't have remade Halloween, even though that was probably the best of the remakes, if you want to call it that. So, there you have it for my recollection of the Halloween series. My complete thoughts, reviews, and opinions for Movie Mike and also my friend Tony Talant. So until next time, bye, please take care of my legion. I thought this video would be much longer than 14 minutes. Wow. Take care, everybody.